Welcome to the Nehemiah Entrepreneurship Business Life Cycle podcast. I'm Patrice, Tsague, and I'm here today with Todd Reibling. Todd is one of our members of our community. He's an entrepreneur, a cybersecurity expert. And today we're going to talk about Kingdom Business and AI. This is part 3. Todd will be our guest at our upcoming global forum. If you've not yet signed up for that global forum, I want to highly encourage you right now, even as I speak, go to your website and go to Nehemiah eCommunity/events. And there you will see global forum. Sign up for it so that you can be a part. It's going to be on July 17th. Actually, this Wednesday, July 17th, from 7 a.m. Pacific to 8:30 a.m. Pacific. And that's going to be it's a virtual event. It'll be myself, Todd, Susan Shrimp, Pastor Mark Estes, Juan Rodriguez, and many more. I think Adam will be with us as well. And so the whole global forum is around, how do you optimize your business leveraging AI and technology while at the same time mitigating, right, the risk of AI. And Todd specifically focused on cyber security. So Todd, before we get into our content today, I want to first thank you for being here with us. Thank you for being a guest. You've been a member of the community for going on, 2.5 years, 3 years now?
It's about 3 years. Mm-hmm.
3 years. And your business right now is at what stage of the life cycle?
It's profitable.
Profitable. Excellent. So, Todd, so how has the experience for the community been for you so far?
And it's been eye-opening on a lot of aspects in my business. Obviously, trying to retool and reshape after COVID happened. And so a lot of times you have to go back to the basics. And so therefore, I've had a lot to rethink about and decide how do I go forward in these new challenging times. And with so many breaches and so many changes in business and so many changes in just the way businesses operate nowadays, is very challenging. And so the coaching from Nehemiah is definitely come as a great help to me and helping me to meet those challenges going forward.
Awesome. It's been a pleasure working with you. So Todd, your focus as a company is on cybersecurity. So first, tell them a bit about your business, kind of what it's about, how long you've been in business, and kind of what you do.
Yeah, I started in IT back when I was really in the Navy, back in 1985 through 1990. I was on a couple of nuclear submarines. Then I got discharged and got into the medical field for a while, and then got retrained, got certified in Microsoft and Novell, and then I started my own business in 2002. And I've been servicing specifically the small business market, which I felt was really having to meet a lot of challenges that enterprise businesses were able to pay lots of money for. Small businesses just did not have the budget for IT. But over the years, we've gotten small businesses to understand that technology is more than a budget item. It's a foundational structure for how they build their business, because you'd be far pressed to find businesses that are operating solely on paper. They're running email, they're running e-commerce websites, they're using ERP systems. So a lot of times they'll have a system in place, but they have no idea how it operates, have no idea how to support it. And a lot of times that's just a vendor that they're dealing with. Well, a lot of times small businesses need a business like mine that's focused on IT consulting to make sense of IT and provide the common sense interpretation to the business owner on how they should be implementing their technology going forward to support their business objectives.
That is awesome. And I'm sure that were you aware when you first started? How long ago did you start the business?
It was 2002.
2002. So were you mindful of this advent of innovation, with AI 2002? Were you kind of anticipating what's happening now with all things technology?
Uh, well, yes and no. I had a conversation with my father a number of years ago when he kind of made fun of me and my profession in computers. He told me it was going to be a fad and that it'd go away in a period of time. Uh, um, I later told him, I says, Dad, uh, if you don't understand how computers work, you won't be able to function in the workforce anymore because it's going to be so ingrained in everything that we do. But far as AI is concerned, AI really wasn't known to small business, and it definitely wasn't known to me at that point in time. I'm sure there was limited aspects that were being tested in the background, but it's definitely not as prolific as it is today.
Oh, I love it. So speaking of AI, let's talk about it. So what is your definition of AI? Uh, what's the simple, what is AI simply?
Well, AI is a training of a language model to interpret um, and make algorithms. Probably be the most basic way to put it is that it's trying to learn behavior and trends and then produce an output. So an example would be is like with Chat GPT, you basically give it a script and say, I'm a small business owner that sells ABC widgets. Um, Produce me a marketing campaign that's going to include my website, social media, any other thing that I need, like direct mailing or something like that. And it will actually generate you a marketing plan in a matter of minutes. I know people that have written sermons with ChatGPT. I also know and have read attorneys actually generating legal agreements with ChatGPT. So people are using it for some pretty elaborate things now, even generating images that are pretty scary in the detail that they're providing.
So I was having an interview with one of our other guests who'll be on the panel, Susan Schramm with Go to Market Impact. Susan, by the way, is also a board vice chair of Nehemiah. She talked about, and she worked with IBM, so she was there with the big blue when all this was being conceived. And she talked about how back when, that the idea of AI was more of a processing machine. It was more of an intelligence to help us process complex data. But it didn't have this dimension that it has now, where it actually would not just help you process, calculate or whatever, but now it also gives you input back. It kind of mimics thinking, where you put an outline, it actually produces a document. That's fairly new. So it seems like we've always used AI to process complex stuff, but this idea that can actually produce something for you, help think for you, that's where people get nervous. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I agree. That's what a lot of people, like vendors that we're dealing with, like our security operations center, they have logs, millions and millions of data points that come into their security operations center, and it's being processed and reviewed, and trends are being identified for malicious actors that are attacking computers. and they're looking at the information in the computer logs, the firewall logs, those types of things. That's looking for trends. But when you're talking about somebody generating output and basically getting advice from I think that's extremely dangerous because, as I was mentioning to Victor before, we were talking a little bit, how do you know if AI is lying? And the more that accurate that the systems get in predicting what the output should be, more people are going to trust it. And therefore, it's going to be easier for us to be susceptible to lying and fraud and inaccurate output. And how do we vet that? How do we determine the privacy of the data? How do we protect that we're not going to get hacked because of the information that we supplied to AI?
Wow. We're talking this is the Nehemiah Business Life Cycle, where we talk with entrepreneurs from various business stages and thought leaders around how to help us navigate our businesses from one stage to the other, all the way from discovery to succession. We're talking today with Todd Reibling. He's the founder CEO of TR Consulting. That's it, right, Todd?
TR Network Consulting.
I'm sorry, TR. I forgot that word. Network Consulting, and so and Todd is one of the members of our community, and he'll be one of our speakers coming up this week at the Global Forum. If you've not yet registered for it, please do that right now. Go to nehemiahecommunity.com/event and look for the Global Forum. You can just go ahead and click that, and you registered. By the way, the good news is that this particular forum is free to all members, whatever your membership level. And if you're not a member yet, it's easy. It's free to become a member. Just go ahead, go to Nehemiah Community Membership, join, and you're good. So it's no cost to you. So, and that will be July 17th of this week. So, Todd, let's talk a bit about your area of specialty, which is security, because you talked about the challenge of AI, it not telling the truth, or it being a gateway to people hacking your system. So first, remind us again. We know about the benefit of AI and increases production efficiency, right? Helps us scale, helps us systematize routine tasks, help us answer process complex data. We know it can even give us outputs. You got to just make sure the output is correct, right? It can actually produce output for us, think for us. So we know its benefit, but let's go over some of the danger of AI before we get into the cyber place. Because I know that security is one danger, but what are other dangers besides security? Then we're going to land on security.
AI, well, again, is the use and the training that these companies are using of the language model. Take, for instance, probably heard a couple of weeks ago that Apple Intelligence is actually using that to train Siri on all of their devices. So across their whole entire platform, AI and Apple Intelligence is actually being used to train that language model. So there's privacy concerns there, number one. Number two, how do we know what data it's actually using? A lot of times you actually have to go into the license agreement for the specific vendor and actually look at how they're using AI. Another example that hit the headlines recently was Adobe. Adobe has actually rewritten their ULO, their end user license agreement, and it includes a lot of information in there that tells you how they're using AI. And it's I've seen quite a few commentaries on how alarming that change is. And then when the public actually has an uprising about that specific thing, Adobe has had to pivot numerous times to adjust their license agreement because of the backlash from the American public. So, first thing is awareness. Is any software that you're actually utilizing for your business to service your customers or just to utilize internally, is know what AI is using and touching. And
Mm.
then you as a business owner, you have to also include that in your privacy policies that's typically on your website. How and I've yet to really see a good privacy policy that brings to bear all of the elements of artificial intelligence. I'm still working on it myself because obviously I'm not a legal expert, but there's a lot to AI, and it's not simply cookies, on the website like it used to be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love it. So with that in mind, let's kind of keep drilling to security. So give us some tips. So security standpoint, reading the website security notices. That's one thing. You
Mhm.
talked about making sure that you're aware of the algorithm within the AI system. You also talk about the language model. For the average person, what does that mean, language model?
That's basically the definition of how they're scripting their AI is uh, coding for one. Also, just like you learn the English language, what does um, a particular word mean, and and then how is it interpreted in another language? That's another thing. Is well, like we interpret the Bible. The Bible will have, okay, what's the Greek version of that, or what's the NIV version of that? The words, if you take in the Bible, can be quite different, and sometimes we can't put in full words of the way it was back in the original. So um, their whole thing in training AI is to get a large amount of input so that they can have more understanding of what the definition of a particular term is and how they can use it going forward.
Now, how do I know whether a language model is good or bad?
That's a good question. I really don't know the answer to that, quite frankly.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But I would imagine that one of the ways could also be looking at the output it gives you, right? For instance, one thing I look for is what's when I put things in there that are Christian orientation for it to produce an outcome, I can tell the biblical worldview. How deep does it go? How Judeo-Christian is it? Right?
But
Is it
you had to have something to compare it to
yeah,
because
100%.
you knew what the truth was, and then when they
Exactly.
came out with something different, then
Yep.
that raises your red flag that, oh, no, that's not correct.
Which is some of the dangers is that AI cannot do thinking for you. AI can be your thinking partner, but
Mhm.
not do the thinking for you. So AI, an example, I needed to produce my team needed we have Nehemiah Week coming up in August. By the way, guys, Nehemiah Week is the annual global virtual conference. This year is on Kingdom Technology, Innovation, and AI. So the global forum is kind of a teaser to Nehemiah Week. So it's a week-long digital conference, and we typically do these intro videos for to kind of introduce the week. So my team felt, but you were a little bit blank. Could you help us? So they gave me kind of what they were thinking. So I had to kind of create that for them. So what I did, a good example of using AI. So I created a framework for what I wanted the video the 1 minute video to do, what I wanted in there, and so I kind of created a framework. I kind of put just my ideas down. It may have been maybe a 5 to 7 sentence thing, and then I said, all right. Then I put into AI and I said, create an introduction video for me. I would say create a 30-second, because I thought it was 30 seconds, but it was really a minute. create a 30-second introductory video for me. After I put all that component, it created a script for me for the video. Then I reviewed it. I actually kind of acted it out, and then I called my director of technology innovation. I said, "Hey, I got something for you." I walked it out with her. She says, "Perfect." So AI took my content, transformed it into a video script, essentially, that
And
worked.
then you could take it one step further and say, take that script and load it into specific AI sites like Midjourney, and it will actually create the video for you.
You see, example. Yeah, that's an example. So it can do that. But I had to give it an input
Yep.
for it to produce that, a framework, and then I had to then know how to interpret the output it gives me to know whether it was good or bad. So I brought in that, so that's the key, is that you've got to, garbage in, garbage out. What are you giving it? That's the first. And second, do you know how to interpret the outcome it's giving you to know whether it's good or bad? If you don't know that, if it's garbage in, or you don't know how to interpret what it gives you, then you are still at a disadvantage. As a matter of fact, AI becomes an accelerated dummy machine. Wouldn't you agree?
Agreed. I use it for exactly that, to help me generate ideas, and then I can proof it and expand upon it going forward.
Awesome. Well, guys, again, we're going to keep having this dialogue. Todd will be joining us at the Global Forum this week on July 17th. If you're not yet signed up, right now, while I'm talking, go to nehemiahecommunity.com/event. Make sure you register for the Global Forum. It's free, no cost to you, unconditionally free. You just got to be a member. If you're not a member yet, just go ahead and sign up. Go to membership, sign up, get your bronze membership, and you can attend the event at no cost to you. So let me prepare to kind of land this plane. I do want to first talk to the Kenyans before I go back to Todd with the last few questions. I want to say, listen, our deepest condolences, Kenya. We lost last week. We lost Jean, one of our members in Kenya. She was one of the leaders. Her mother had founded St. Christopher School, and we lost her last week. So we just had a memorial service today. So the Kenya team, we're praying for you. We're praying with you. Jean Campbell was her name. We're praying for you, praying with you, and we are with you. We had a great memorial service today. I had the privilege. Thank you for asking me to preach. I had a great time ministering, and then her mother was also there. She spoke, and her daughter, her sister as well, and of course, members of the Nehemiah community from Kenya spoke about their experiences. Gina was a wonderful person. She was amazing. I would say, she was a strong woman, amazing leader, quiet strength. She didn't say much, but when she spoke, it was wisdom and clarity. I had the privilege of coaching her along with Frank for several years. So, Jean, you've missed. We are with you. I challenge the attendees today to allow the spirit of Jean to resurrect within us, that we may live out her legacy. And that meant coming alongside her family, loving on them. That meant loving on St. Christopher, the school, Kenya, the country, Nehemiah community, and of course, Africa. Those are things she cared about. So Jean can live on through us by us living out her legacy. All right. So I want to make sure that we know that. So keep that family in prayer. And we love Jean for how God has used her. She has finished well. She is not hearing those wonderful words. I has heard them already. Well done, good and faithful servant. She was faithful over a few things. God will now make her ruler over much. And of course, also want to be in prayer for our nation, the United States of America. This past weekend, there was an attempted assassination attempt on President Trump's life. There's no place for violence in our nation. So I want to pray for his family, for the Republican Party, and all those this week who are at the convention. Pray for safety, that the Lord will protect, and that His will be done. It is that He will expose anyone who is attempting to do harm. And of course, Our political discourse can be tense, can be confrontational, can be honest, but it must be peaceful and it must be courteous. It must be done with unconditional love. So let's keep that in your prayers. So again, if you want to, you not yet sign up for the Global Forum, visit us at Nehemiah eCommunity/events. Go to the Global Forum page, click there, sign up, and join us this week. So, Todd, as we prepare to land the plane, where is this going? Where is AI going, and what should we be on the lookout for?
Well, AI is going to consume more and more of our mundane tasks in any small business that they take to use it for, whether it's emailing campaigns or video, social media, processing data, large amounts of data, and heaven forbid, autonomous driving. Before long, your mass transit is going to be all by autonomous driving. Um, I don't know how long it's going to take before all of our vehicles are, but semi trucks, we've got semi trucks actually Amazon testing in our local area on our major highways here. So it's being becoming more and more ingrained in our activities. It really depends on how the public adopts it and whether or not they're going to be cautious about its implementation because they're looking at what privacy issues versus the productivity enhancements. So anything with security is basically a balance between convenience and security protocols that need to be implemented.
Mhm.
So that's where the business owners are going to basically have to decide what do they want to invest into AI, or if they want to totally block it out. I think is going to be quite hard going forward because even if you just use email, AI's all over email, all over the place. So it's going to take a watchful eye. I think that you need to have a good community that has a lot of collaboration, like Nehemiah communities. So we can actually share the information we know from the tech uh, aspect down to the people that are running their businesses every day so that they can be informed because then they will have the information where they can make an intelligent decision on whether or not they want to implement it or they don't. And how do you combat it so that it's not, you know, taking all your personal information and spreading it all over the world where you don't want it to go?
Wow, well said, well said. Good advice. Listen, take heed of that. But Dan, don't go anywhere yet because I have one last question for you. Listen, if you enjoyed this podcast, I want you to share it. Share with your friends, share with your family, push it out into your social network because friends share with friends that which they like and enjoy. So be a good friend. Share it. If you want to know more about Nehemiah e-community, how you can take advantage of our training and coaching program and be a part of our community, visit our website, nehemiahecommunity.com, nehemiahecommunity.com. There you can learn about our training program, whether it's identity and destiny, passive income continuum, non-major or biblical entrepreneurship, whether it's our coaching program, right? One-on-one coaching or group coaching, whether it's our access to capital program, how we can connect with investors or our becoming a member of a community that has members in Asia, Africa, Latin America, Europe, North America, where together we are building kingdom companies. So if you want to do that, go to our website, nehemiahecommunity.com, and you can check us out and join and be a part and participate, particularly for this week's Global Forum. That's no cost to you because you become a member. Our thanks to you. So you want to do that. And with that in mind, so Todd, my last question for you. Of course, there's a lot of uncertainty in the air. Inflation has still not fully been settled. The wars in Ukraine has still is not fully settled. There's political, things in America, and of course, Kenya had the situation with the young people looking for change. So if somebody watching and listening to us now, they're saying, I Todd, I do feel insecure. I feel insecure. I feel unsafe. What advice would you give them? What can they do to help them feel safer in midst of all the things that are happening?
Well, the first thing is to educate yourself. There is plenty of free resources that are out there, including um, CISA and the NSA. They have websites that there's plenty of information that I can share the links with everybody about that will give you small 1-2 page PDF documents that you can secure your home network,
Mm,
secure your Wi-Fi when you go out into the public. Um, you just have to be smart about it and look at what the threat is, and then how do I protect yourself against that? So it's similar to like disaster planning for a hurricane.
mm,
We in Florida here, we have to be prepared every single year. So you just simply create a checklist and ask yourself, what if questions? What if the power goes out? What if the internet goes down? What
mm.
if this and that? And you will be able to quickly answer a lot of these questions yourself by looking at these free resources and then implementing on your computer. And sometimes it doesn't even cost much money at all. There's free resources to be able to protect you. But to just put your head in the sand and not research, I think is very dangerous because it's not a matter of if, it's when you will get attacked, and then your data is out on the dark web. Once it's out on the dark web, it's hard to put that genie back in the bottle.
Wow, that's good stuff. And there's a lot more coming from where Dan is. Thank you so much, Dan. I'm looking forward to seeing you, being with you at the Global Forum, where you'll give us more insight as we deal with Kingdom business. And again, if you've not yet signed up, guys, do that right now. Make sure you sign up. Go to Nehemiah Community/events, sign up to the Global Forum, and join us this week. Well, with that said, let me pray for you. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord enable you to steward those talents that are under your care and steward them in such a way that one day you'll hear those wonderful words, well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. Guess what? Will not make you ruler over much. Again, praying for the Republican convention, praying for the Trump family, and of course, praying for those who lost a loved one and those who are injured in the attempted suicide, and praying for our friend, the family of Jean, as well as the Kenya community as they celebrate her life. God bless you all. Thank you, Todd. See you next time.
Thank you.